Ahoy everyone! Today we're going to be talking about something that I both love and despise at the same time. That being custom trees. They elevate your builds to such a higher level than using just the normal trees you get from the sapling, but they are a complete pain in the ass to make, most of the time. Today I'm going to be showing you 3 designs that are fairly easy to build even in survival, and that you can just put all over the place to liven up your builds. The first is going to be this birch fence and birch leaf tree. This is by far the simplest to make, and you can just put them everywhere as just a good mid to smaller sized tree. I normally like to make these between 5 and 6 blocks tall. That just seems to be the right proportion. But you start by, you just make a pillar with your spruce fence, and then you come off of the sides in varying patterns with other segments of fence, and these act as like the branches for your tree. And then just the simple trick you do with the leaves is you put one on top, and then on each one of these branches you've made, you put one on top, and then leaves on either side. And you just repeat this for however many branches you have put on the tree. And you can leave some out to make more holes, or you can make it really dense, just depending on what type of feel you're going for. But so then you build it, you step back, and you can go in and just fill in spots where it's a little bare. It's like, maybe I'll put one there just to fill it in a little bit. But it's a very simple tree. You can get a lot of variation really fast, and they're good for just filling up the blank space that you have. Next up, we have this medium spruce tree. It blocks more sight lines than this airy kind of birch one. But you just put down some logs and then build up with spruce fence. I normally like to make these taller than the little spindly birch ones, because I just think it looks better. What I start out with, I just put 2 leaves on top, and then what I do is I come off the side and then come down in a spiral pattern for the rest of the tree. And then once I've done that, I come in and add just a couple more leaves to break up the pattern. So like when you look at it, you can't just immediately see that it's just one spiral of leaves heading down the tree. It looks a lot more natural when we have them. Something like that. And then lastly, the third tree is a proper Christmas style pine tree per se. And these ones I really like because depending on how tall you make them, you can set basically how fat they get. So you can have really thin, narrow, pointy trees of the same style, or you can have more kind of fatter, stubby ones like this one is. And for these ones, I like the non-stripped spruce log. It just adds a little more texture to it. You can see better through the leaves. Like coming up 3 blocks on this one for the most part, and then I'll set the actual proper height of the tree using the spruce fence. But just like before, come off the top of this, and now on each of the 4 cardinal directions of the tree, you are going to want to come down with lines of your spruce leaves. And this is kind of where you set the width of the tree, because you're going to make a circle basically around the core stump, and depending on what you do, it will change how wide the tree is. When I come down, I like to alternate the levels that the leaves branch off at, as that gives it a nice bit of variation. Once you've done that, you've come down from all of the sides. You're just going to come into each of the corners and then fill in the rest of this cone shape you're making. Once again, making sure that you're not stepping down at the same spots the entire way around, so that way it's not actually just a symmetrical cone. And I'm just going to quickly fill in the rest of the tree here. And so we have that, and with this tree, because it does have such a more solid line of leaves, I like to go in also with birch leaves and texture it almost like you would a house, just to add some variation and the slight contrast of color. And you see that really makes it just immediately more interesting. And another tip I've learned recently is what you can also do is you can also take the flower pots, the small flower pots, and you can put them on different types of spruce trees. You can put them on these two, I suppose. And what it does is they act as pine cones. And they just provide a nice pop of color also for your trees. But yes, these are 3 really simple custom tree designs that you can use just pretty much anywhere. I feel like they fit in an incredible amount of different situations that you can just plop them down into to really spruce up your builds. But if you've learned anything, please do like and share the video with your friends so that we all can get better at building and I can stop laughing to look at so many terrible builds. Thank you, and that'll be all.